Welcome back to The Edge, live in your Bleacher Report app. I am your host, Micah Parsons, and this episode is sponsored by Nationwide. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side. Let's get right into it. Cowboys, Panthers. Obviously, it's a great week when you can get a win back in the books. It's looking bright. What can we say? We're not eliminated yet, like some teams, and we still got hope. So the hope is still alive. We got a great chance this week against the Bucks, which be a great game. And it's Sunday Night Football. There's nothing better to try to get a win on Sunday Night Football. The lights are going to be big. Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans. We'll get into that a little bit later, but it's going to be a super exciting game. But Panthers, obviously, it was a great game. If you thought that first sack was pretty angry, it's because I was mad at Bryce. He came up to me after the game and was like, I only tried that move because it was you. And I felt tight. I'm not gonna lie. Like I came off, I was like, I took that tight personal. Like that first one was definitely like, ooh, like I was really mad. Like Bryce really, I'm not even gonna lie, like Maris helped me because he made him fumble after the fact. But he had a crazy highlight on me up until that point. Like I got saved from being on every outlet in America. But Bryce really bought me. Like I was really mad. Like that was really like something I was like, man, I gotta get after this dude. Like he really just did that to me. Like I took that very personally. So, it was all fun. Obviously, I thought he played another good game. He keeps putting it together, even though, they don't have the most talented roster in the NFL. They're keep finding ways to keep games close, and they're playing at a really high level. I think that's a scary football team. As you saw, we were underdogs going into that game because people thought we would kind of just give up after that, suffering and despicable Bengals loss. But no, we're just going to keep fighting. We're going to keep making a way. And obviously, what got us there in that win, I'm going to start it off with, my MVP of the game, and that's Rico. Rico ran for another $150. I kind of hate, and I kind of been talking to Rico is, man, I hate that we waited so long to start activating this man. I feel like, he's proven he's been the best back, but it's kind of been like, we've seen that since camp. So why have we waited so long to activate him? He's been at a very, very high level, and he just keeps proving it, man. 3 games in a row, over 100 yards. He ain't find end zone, but he's been playing really, really good. I hope the Cowboys find a way to bring him back because he's showing that he can play ball, and he's playing ball. He's proved that he's the best back on this team. So it'll be a pain to watch him walk away because the way he's playing at the end of the year, I mean, only Saquon Barkley has more yards than him in like the last 6 weeks. I mean, he's pushing 1,000 yards. I know he's going to get it, but that's impressive for a guy who wasn't starting the first, really wasn't getting the workload the first, pretty much 4 or 5 weeks. So super impressive what he's been able to accomplish this year and what he's doing right now. Super impressive. And obviously he's missing his right guard, and that's our Hall of Famer himself. So what he's been able to do with, shout out to the O-line, but those guys are suffering. BB was out, Zach Martin was out, 2 starters, and they were still able to run like that. So that's so impressive. So shout out to Brock, T Bass, shout out to Tyler, T Still, because, we won that game up front. Point blank period. Anytime we can be able to run the ball like that, manage the clock, and put points up like that, we're going to have a great day on defense. Point blank period. So, shout out to the guys up front. Cowboys fans, they're wondering why we keep winning. I mean, y'all didn't see we're eliminated yet. Yeah, why would we give up? I think as anything, this is what you should want from your team. You should want your team to keep striving, keep pushing, keep going as hard as they want, because I think that should show you character of what your team should be like. That would be a team where I'm like, dog, like they got no reason to want to win. They're down 10 starters. They're missing everybody. They have a losing record. They probably won't make playoffs. But, if your team's still finding a reason why and a reason not to give up and a reason to keep pushing, like that's a team I would support. Any human, it's easy. It's easy to wake up in the morning and, gloat with your team when you're winning. But, we need them super fans. We need y'all to lock back in. And it's like, yo, we want to beat on people. Like, we're just not rollovers. Like, you see so many people just give up. You don't want a roster built like that, because then guess what? Next year, if there's hardship, those guys just going to roll over right again. So it's going to be another painful year. But you got guys that's fighting, clawing, finding ways to win games, even though, there's, it's very slim chances, but you say, hey, this team's going to fight regardless of injuries, regardless of circumstances, coaching, future endeavors. Like, these guys want to win. I want a roster like that. I want a roster that's built around guys like that. So, it's very shocking to me, Cowboys Nation, that you will want the draft pick. Yeah, we've had pretty good luck in those drafts, but that's why Will McClay's he's the best in the business. He's found Tyler Guyton, he's found Tyler Smith. When we were at pick 20, he found CeeDee Lamb at 17. So, I'm not really worried about where we're at in the draft. I think Will McClay's one of the best. He's found Zach Martin. He's found DeMarcus Lawrence at 34. I mean, he found Dak Prescott in round 4. So it really goes to show, the depth of how successful our draft picks have been, the guys that we're bringing in and things like that. So I'm not too worried about where our draft pick is. Yeah, we probably won't get Abdul Carter, number 11, is right there, but that's okay. There's already a Stick City here. Obviously, I would have loved to play with him if given the circumstance, but it is what it is, nature of the business. But I'm not too worried about what pick we are. I don't care about none of that. I just want to win. I think it's more embarrassing, more mentally draining losing than it is to worried about a draft pick, man. I think that would bother me more because I'm out there fighting for my family, fighting for my life. Like, why would I ever, want to go out there and lose? The mentality, the competitor, like, I want to dominate the man in front of me. Like, that's just who I am. So, I could never do that. And we will never settle for that. And I'm glad I'm around the guys who are not giving up, guys who are finding reasons to want to keep going, fighting, and be here. Those are guys I want to continue playing with. That's why I have nothing, bad to say. I have great teammates, man. Those guys coming every day willing to work. Even when the guys that are hurt, they're coming to the building with contagious energy. I don't think I've seen Demo sad one time since we've been, like, he's been the most spirited, smiling, playing fun run between treatment guy that I've ever seen. Like, I haven't not seen him down. So when it goes to guys who I know I'm playing with and I know who wish they could be playing, man, I would never hesitate to go all out for those guys. Never hesitate. And, obviously it was a big blow losing Trayvon. Obviously it's a huge loss because I look at him as DB and Trayvon is like the 1-2 punch, one of the best 2-punch corners in the league. Don't matter how you look at it. What Trayvon done, they're both all pros. They're both Pro Bowlers, and they're exciting players. I just can't look outside and say these guys aren't legit players. They're one of the most exciting, but my brother's been hurting for a while, man. That's the reality of it, man. He's been hurting. His knee's been swelling. He's been missing games for a while. And, it has nothing to do with his ACL. His knee was breaking down. I don't know what happened. He had but it really hurts me because I seen Trey Sver, and I seen him, what he was going through, trying to get back, working outside of the building. Like, I seen the work he was putting in. So to me, when people were talking about his rehab, Trey came back early off his ACL. He didn't even miss a game following the season. We lost him in week 3 of last year, and we got him back in the beginning of camp. So for people to say his rehab, man, Trey came back right. I think he missed like the first week of camp, but by the end of camp, he was out there week 1. He had an interception. He looked like, regular old Trey. He was practicing hard, working hard. And then, he got banged up a few weeks ago, but it's hard to say people don't take his rehab, what could he have done with, the injury he sustained, man? The cartilage had broke down. It was a cartilage issue and it broke down. So it bothers me when people question the Trevon Diggs narrative of his rehab, how hard he wants to work. Does he want to be there? Because I don't know a guy who wants to be there more. When they're talking to me and we're talking about what we want in our futures, in our lives, it's always been about, us, me and him being here at Cowboy, wanting to be there, wanting to, win championships, do great things. So it would really bother me for people to paint that type of narrative on a guy who I know wants to be great, wants to be coached hard, wants to do all those great things in his career and win a Super Bowl. So, I thought, when I saw that report, it was disgraceful. It was disgusting because that's not who he is. He's a guy who's willing to put the work in. And, everybody, there's always things in life and, work that don't make sense. And, and there's other factors. Everyone knows in, work life, like everything isn't always perfect. And Things don't always go right. And yeah, I would love to hit on it today, but I probably won't because, we still got to finish some games. But there's some things I might say later on. I don't know. Sometimes I get a little unfiltered and I get a little crazy, but I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to be mindful. I'm going to be very demure, very mindful. Okay. So we're going to move on to that. Trayvon, like I said, he's one of my best teammates. And then people want to bring up, the political drama with me and my future. And then also, guys who I roll with. They're people, I saw something the other day with it was me, Osa, and Chauncey. And, honestly, we've been talking about that ourselves lately, just me, Osa, and Chauncey. And, the relationships that we built together going over the last 4 years, it's been, night and day. And honestly, it's sad, man. It's sad because obviously it's similar to college, but, in college, you're like, man, everyone's going to move on. But, sometimes you just hope that those bonds, those friendships that you built in that building, could stay together. And you just don't know what the future is going to be. You don't know what room you're going to be. Since I've been here, I've been in a very different room. Some of the guys that I came in with, I think Chauncey, Osa, and kind of D-Law has been the only guys who's been there since I've been there. So it's very saddening, knowing that, I might not be with Osa next year or I might not be with Chauncey. And, kind of our, going into this game, it was kind of like, bro, like, this could be our last 4 games together. How we want to do this, like how we want to see each other succeed. Like, we don't want to go out sweet, man. Like, we want to go out there, off wins and do what we do because, it's special, bro. Like, the fact that we all made it this far, we talk about it too. Like, people don't understand. The NFL stands for not for long. So, the fact that we all made it to year 4 is a great blessing, and we've been able to see a different generation come into this league. And, now that I see that we're all having some type of success, man, I really hope we find a way to all stay together because it's been exciting. It's been real exciting. And then, speaking of me, man, like I said, y'all know I'm going to be a Cowboys for life. We're going to figure out a way for me to be a Cowboy for life. And I think, Jay and Steven see it that way too. So I'm going to be real excited, at the end of this year. I hope the fans are going to be excited because I think it's going to be a great offseason. I do think we're going to attack free agency. I think it's going to be a great year. Because I think we got the pieces, man. I get guys is going to, like, to me, I look at it like the reason why we want to finish this year so good, and we're already missing starters, and some of those starters we're not going to get back to the end of next year. So if we could finish good and keep playing great defense now, imagine towards next year when we're not, 6-8, and we're whatever 9-5 or 10-6, whatever the record is, right? Imagine we're that record and we're saying, hey, we're still about to get Trayvon back. Hey, we're still about to get Demo back. And all those guys got all those good reps and that experience. And now you combine with those really good guys that's coming back who played so well with guys who's been working and grinding and are, have the same values and commitment to this team. And you say, yo, we're going to be really good come playoffs. We're really going to start clicking. So it's going to be a super exciting year. That's why I say Cowboys Nation, it look bad right now and we turning it up, but it's about to go to a whole nother level. So I hope y'all really, pay attention and y'all wake up because it's about to get real exciting. So Cowboys Nation, y'all better wake up real fast. Let's get into around the league. Bills, Lions, 2 of the top teams in the league faced off yesterday. Did this confirm Josh Allen's MVP case? I want to say a good chance it probably did. Knowing how the league works, Josh Allen is probably going to be the MVP. And I'm going to say this right now. I learned that, these awards go a lot with the team success. So with Josh Allen's record, him knocking off some of the best teams in the league recently, he probably will be MVP. I'm not saying he don't deserve it. It's probably going to become between Josh Allen and Lamar. They're very close. I think it probably should be Lamar. He's right there. Lamar has more passing touchdowns, less interceptions, but they're 9-5. So it's going to be a very tight race, but y'all know how the media gets. They gave it to Lamar last year when, I think Dak should have probably won it. So I think they're going to give it to Josh this year. You know how they always try to balance it out. So I think it's going to be like that, but it's going to be a close call. It's going to be a very close call. But I think it is impressive what Josh Allen is doing. Like I said previously, Josh Allen, this is a team where people thought they were tanking. They don't have Stephon. Like, they're doing this where I'm going to say it, little James Cook, like younger brother Dalvin Cook is becoming a running back superstar. And they're doing this without none of the top receivers they had previously the year before. Gabe Davis is now on the Buffalo Bills. Stephon Diggs is now on the Buffalo Bills. So it's impressive what Josh Allen has been able to do and the points he's been putting up without a more talented roster. Now, this is what a superstar quarterback caliber looks like. He's getting paid the big bucks and he's playing at such a high level. It's so impressive. Back-to-back weeks that Buffalo Bills defense have gave up points. Is it concern? I'm going to say no. I'm not really concerned because I've seen what this Bills defense looked like previously. Before, these games, they were a top defense. They still play at a really high level. It just happened, like, they have recently just went up against one of the best offensives. The Rams with a healthy Cooper Kupp and a healthy Puka, and they went against, the mighty Lions. The Lions have the best offense in the NFL with the combination of Monte Brown, J-Mo, Gibbs. I feel very bad for Montgomery, but, it's terrible. But I would not say I'm worried about it, but I do think defense wins championships. But I'm going to tell you this, right? They had a crazy stat about Jared Goff, right? They've won a game when Jared Goff has thrown 5 touchdowns, and they have lost the game when Jared Goff has thrown 5 touchdowns. And this is why I kind of get mad at the people because y'all don't see it the way we see it. Defense will always win championships. That game where he threw 5 touchdowns against the Texans, he probably shouldn't have won that game, but his defense came up huge. Just that in this defense, with the injuries that the Lions have suffering, and they're suffering greatly, they weren't able to do that. So it's all about stops, man. Defense will always win championships. It'll be amazing to me how the Lions will find a way to overcome all of this. I would say, the Cowboys have suffered great injuries, but I feel for the Lions, man. I really do. You go into this league and you look at that Lions roster and they pretty much had everyone back from that year before and they lost that NFC Championship game. You say this team's going to be one of the teams to beat. They're going to be a challenge to anybody facing them. And it's terrible, man. They lose Aleem McNeil to ACL. They lose Montgomery to MCL. So you lose Thunder and Lightning. You also lose Carlton Davis, who was a great corner who came up big in that game against Houston. They already lost Aiden Hutchinson. It's just like they lost their linebackers. It's like injury after injury. Like they're suffering guys. They're superstars. Not only that, and it's different. They was losing superstars from, a losing record. This is a winning team losing these superstars. And it's this late in the season, so they can't go make a trade. It's not like they can go pick a practice squad guy up. Like, it's so I don't know how tough it's going to be for them to go as far as they want to with so many injuries. They got over 9, 10 starters, like legit starters injured. This is demoralizing, man. I don't know how they do it. If the Lions still find a way, I think it'll be one of the greatest seasons that we've seen in the NFL in a very, very long time. It'll be very, very, very impressive. But it sucks for them, man. Lions, I know we had beef before, Lions fan base, but listen, man, I feel for you. Like, I don't know what you guys did to deserve this, because, this is unfootball. Like I can't even explain it for you. Like, this is very hard. And it's tough, man. I really, really do feel for you. The injuries is just so sickening, man. And the way you guys been playing healthy, even with the injuries, and you just lose 3 more starters, it's just sickening, man. I feel for you guys. I don't think this is fair either. It's definitely not fair. But, moving on, the Eagles have just won their 10th straight game, and Jalen Hurts said it best. That's what you wanted to see, huh? I mean, that's what I think A.J. Brown wanted to see. 8 receptions for 110 yards and a touchdown. And that's off 11 targets. I think it's just about impressive as it gets. It's about impressive as it gets. You got to find a way to get your number one the ball. Point blank period. And then Devontae Smith had a great game also. Anytime that offense is clicking like that, they're a hard team to beat. And honestly, it's not even just the offense. That defense is playing at such a high level. If we break down these defense, that defense is finding ways to win games. That defense is looking amazing. And then you see young Quinyon Mitchell, one of my guys that I said that was going to be a dog. I was watching him in the Senior Bowl, watching him coming out, watching him pre-draft. And I said, that's going to be a guy. Now he's the favorite to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. He just he looks great, bro. He looks really, really good. Him and Dijon and that scheme in front of that D-line, it looks very, very good. You could tell D. Slay got his hands on him and really showed him the ropes, bro. You can really tell. That young DB core looks very, very solid. And he goes against, Jared Verse, who has 4.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, but the ways Mitchell has been shut down, I've seen it before. You've seen it in guys like, my guy from the Jets, Sauce. Those guys is true lockdowns. We kind of seen this before, man. And I honestly wouldn't be surprised if he swiped it away from Jared Verse. It's going to come down to these last 3 games, but it's going to be a very good game. It's going to be a close race. It's going to be a close race. And then you think about the rookie of the year, the offensive rookie of the year. I think, it's really opening more up to JD's side, man. The Washington's 9-5. They're 9-5. And I think he's playing better. He has less interceptions now. Bo Nix kind of struggled last week against the Colts. And that Denver defense found a way to win games again. They found a way to win games again. But, it's going to be close. But right now, my 2 picks is going to be JD and Quinyon. Those are offense and defensive rookie of the year. They're super impressive this year. And then obviously, let's get into this turmoil. It's been a lot with the De'Vondre Campbell situation. Oh, man. I don't really like speaking on situations because obviously I wasn't in the locker room. I wasn't on the sideline. But you could kind of I could understand the frustration. And a lot of people don't know this is you can only dress 48. You can only dress 48. So when you're on the field and you decide to go out to the game, you can never just leave your teammates and say, I can't play, because that's a spot. They could have pulled someone up from the P squad. They could have. It's so many different things that create a variation of how you want to start your 48. So the fact that he walked out on a 48, that's hard on a lot of guys because they're putting the same time, same workload as you. And for you to walk out, man, that's sick. Especially for some of the guys, they talked about, how Fred's been battling the ankle. The work he's been putting in, battling, with the ankle, and Greenlaw coming back from the Achilles, man, that's tough. That's tough. And what Ward's dealing with personally, man, that's tough. I don't know what was going through his head, and I don't want to bash him in any way. I don't know what battles he's facing because we don't know. We don't know as people. I don't know what mental battles he's facing or what trials and tribulation he's facing. But at some point, like I always say, this game is bigger than me. This game is way bigger than me. My name's Micah, and I know that in 5 years there's probably another me. Someone else is going to be wearing that same jersey probably. That the game will always continue to go on. No one is bigger than the game. The moment that we commit to this game, it's like it's the game before everything else. The only thing that comes before this game is your family and faith. It's really tough, man. It's sick, man. I can see why everyone is very upset. And I don't know, like I said, I don't know what he's going through, but this is what you put your life to. There is no other choice. This is like football. It's like football. That is like your life, and those guys in that locker room, their family depend on you. I rely on other guys doing their job so my family can eat. We all depend upon each other. So it's not like you're just hurting one group or one particular person. You're hurting the 48, and then you're hurting some of the practice squad guys. They don't get that game check because they won't get an active roster spot because you decided you were going to play and you were going to dress and you're going out to the field. So you actually hurt someone else's pockets too. That's tough. I just can't fathom someone walking out on me. I pray I don't see that on my team either. Whatever you're going through, I know situations, coaching, and things ain't perfect. We all go through it. We all see some very terrible coaching sometimes. Like, we all see very terrible play by players, and sometimes we always don't play our best. We all see it, but in reality, we got to deal with it. Like, life is hard. But the moment you dress up and you put your uniform on, you vow to them 48, you vow to the fans, man, you vow to that little, girl or boy in this world, to say, I'm going to give my best today. They came to see me. They're watching on TV. There's going to be a high school kid. There's going to be a college kid that think they can just walk out now. We can't allow it. We have too much influence on this world. We have way too much influence. I get we're entertainment business, but people idolize us. A bunch of people idolize the 49ers. This game is so much bigger than us, and we can never make this game about us. And if it was about him not playing, the game is bigger than your feelings. That's the truth about it. Like, whatever we may feel, whatever we're going through, this game is way bigger than us. And, I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to bash him. It's just, I see the perspective. It's tough. And, obviously, send prayers out to Patrick Mahomes. He's dealing with a mild high ankle sprain, and it's week to week. And trust me, I dealt with this, so I know it's serious. I know how serious this ankle injury is. Just send prayers to him. But honestly, I think this could be great for the Chiefs. Obviously, they've been finding ways to win with Patrick. But, man, they could keep finding a way, and they could rely on that defense to say, hey, they can't score. It's a mentality that everyone got to embrace. They got to get better. That's going to be very exciting. You telling me a Chiefs team that can win a couple more games without Patrick Mahomes going into playoffs? And then you say, hey, we get Pat back around playoffs? Dog, that's exciting. If they can find winning games without Patrick Mahomes, that's going to be super exciting. Very exciting. It is going to be like, this team could three-peat. And then you say we get Marquise Brown back soon too? Wow. So this is going to be a great challenge for the Chiefs. But it's not something that I don't think they can overcome. I think they got enough talent. They got more than enough. You see the way they ended that game last week. It's going to be a very exciting game. Let's get into our so much more, segment. Let's talk about someone who's doing so much more for team this week, just like how Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company. They're a financial services company too. And I'm going to start with Mike Evans versus Chargers. 9 receptions, 159 yards, 2 TDs, 749 yards on the season. Puts him closer to his 11th straight 1,000-yard season. And people say, is Micah Evans underrated? And, I would say absolutely not. To me, I think he should be worshipped. I think he's already a first ballot Hall of Famer. I think there's no question about how great he is. And I think he is the epitome of Mr. Consistent. He's Mr. Consistent. Mike Evans, 1,000 yards every time. He got a record. I think he's closing in on Jerry Rice. He is Mr. Consistent, man. He's great for this game. He's been great for the community. I mean, he's also a nominee for Walter Payton Man of the Year award. I have his jersey he's one of them guys. I actually tell you guys a funny story. So one time, I think I'm in college, and it's the off season. Not even college. I think I just left for the draft, and just like anybody else, I went down to Florida for an event, or we were somewhere, and I saw Mike Evans. I was like, yo, Mike, I'm gonna see you soon. He's like, man, what's your name? I was like, man, my name's, Micah Parsons, man. I love you, dog. Like, I think how great you are. Like, and I was like, I'm gonna see you soon. He's like, I'm sure. And I'm probably sure, like, anybody, like, even been in a situation now, like, you hear it from everybody. You hear it from everybody. But the moment I played him, we played him my rookie year. Yeah, we played him. And I was like, man, like, yo, you remember I told you I see you one day, and he was like, yo, that, like, it's just crazy how, like, life's short. He remembered me. And honestly, since that day, he's been one of the most genuine, honest people. Gave me the jersey off the rip, like, just a true person, man. So, obviously, nominee, not surprised. Mr. Consistent, not surprised. Great person, great father, great player, all the way around. I couldn't be happier for someone. Now going against him this week, I'm like, all right, we got to deal with Mike Evans. I know what he's trying to do this year. We got to try to limit that. He can get the last 2 games. You know what I'm saying? So we got to get some pressure. But, his foundation provides opportunities for young students with scholarships, through scholarships with Mike Evans' family's foundation. He awarded a total of $170,000 to 15 graduating seniors this year. So very big shout out to Mike Evans. Thank you for everything you do in the community. And it's important that we keep attacking the youth. You keep putting, finding ways to send kids to college, see that there's a bigger way, a bigger path for them to take, because we see what some of these young kids are doing. So that's the most important thing. And then let's just get into our college football. It's playoff weekend. Let's get into it. SMU, I know, hey, Dallas, listen, Dallas. Y'all know I'm with y'all any other time, but them boys don't know who they walking down to up in the, they ain't never seen no white out. They ain't never been in that cold before. I promise you, I've been in Dallas for 4 years. You ain't never seen no Penn State cold, especially Penn State in December. It might snow. I don't know what the weather's like up there right now, but it's about to go down. That's my prediction. Look, Penn State going to win. I got Ohio State. Honestly, bro, Tennessee defense serious, man. I think Tennessee might upset Ohio State first round. I got Texas over Clemson. And obviously, I'm going to take Indiana going to upset on Notre Dame. I said it. 2 upsets, 2 clinches. And then obviously, we're going to drop. Once that happens, we're going to break through the rest of the college football playoff next week. But this is going to be a great game, man. It's going to be action-packed. I can't wait. This is going to be a good Saturday. And we play Sunday night, so I can actually chill with the guys and just watch some of these good football games, man. It's going to be super exciting. I can't wait. And, looking ahead next season, obviously the big Belichick news. I'm actually shocked. I did not think Belichick is a guy who want to deal with this NIL, guy transferring, guy staying. Like, I couldn't picture Belichick babying some of these guys. Based off of players that I talked to, who he coached, I can't picture this. I don't see kids just wanting to stay around good coaches just because anymore. These guys want to be paid. These guys want to be taken care of. So it's gonna be it's gonna be exciting and kind of a little bit, shaky about what we see. And then I don't know if this is true, but they said Drew Lars returning for a senior season. Our backup QB, Bo's leaving, with impossible decisions because, he's going to miss out on NIL opportunities, QB opportunities around the country, and he absolutely deserves it. He's college graduate, Penn State graduate. He got his degree, which is the most important thing. And, he's got to look for his thing, because obviously the college football playoff is starting earlier. They usually are later because it's the New Year's game and he could kind of play in it and move on. But because of, the grand scheme of things, man, he won't be out there. And that hurts. That hurts. So we need to find a way for guys to enter the portal and still be active for their team, because this guy, God forbid, I don't know if anything happens with Lard, but this guy can step up and win a game for us. And that's the reality. So, that really sucks. I think they should edit the timing of the portal period to be after the playoffs so these guys can ride it out with their teams. 100%. It's inexcusable that you don't make exceptions for these guys. Like, he worked his butt off all year, and you telling me he can't be a part of the playoffs with his brothers? It's inexcusable. The committee, the NCAA, they have to change it. And then let's get into Micah Claus. This is with the Lionheart Foundation. Man, if anyone else wants to help and support, it's going to be an amazing event. I truly can't wait. It's going to be an awesome event. Thank you to Hugo Boss, Sports Academy, Adidas, GOD, SWBC, and many more amazing sponsors for helping me make this event possible. And I'm going to say this is the most important event to me, besides the Thanksgiving, the turkey drive. I think this is the most important because obviously Christmas isn't about receiving, it's about giving. And I've been in this amazing opportunity to give. And I will be dressing up like Santa, going across Dallas and visiting hospitals, boys and girls clubs. And we will be, giving, Christmas gifts to families who may be struggling this year. We don't know but their situation, but we're going to be giving out multiple Christmas gifts to young students, little boys, little girls across Dallas. And I extremely can't wait because this is the most exciting. This is my favorite part of Christmas. It's always about giving. People is like, we don't know what to get you. You pretty much have everything. And I said, it's never about me. I'm just happy that everyone's here. I just can't wait to give out. I just can't wait to see the smiles. I love the reactions of my family when I give them their gifts. I'm always the most creative and thoughtful, I would say, because I always go outside of the box. Never about this specific item. So I extremely can't wait. It's going to be super exciting. I want to give big shout out to my guy, Brian Burney, for helping me put this together. And obviously the Dallas Cowboys for helping me put this together. I couldn't have done it without you guys. So I appreciate you guys. Week 16 versus the Buccaneers. It's going to be a dogfight. It's two teams fighting. Bucs is playing for seeding. They're playing for, it's going to be exciting. Baker Mayfield, top 5 in passing, top 5 in touchdowns thrown. So it's going to be an exciting matchup. It's going to be a great game. Sunday Night Football. I can't wait. Let's take some final questions from the chat. What's better, getting a strip sack or interception? For me, it's a strip sack. But if I get an interception, I want to know what that feeling feel like. I don't know the difference yet. What are your thoughts on planes flying above MetLife Stadium? I think it's disrespectful. I quite do think it's disrespectful and embarrassing. Like I said, people have feelings and people should be opinionated, but I think people just go too far. At the end of the day, this man has a family. Some of these players is out there, like, it's embarrassing, for all aboard. So I just think, people should chill. It's quite embarrassing and it shouldn't be done. I'm all about the passion and people, dying about the passion and stating their opinions. But sometimes I think as people, we just go too far. Like, there's a time and place for everything. And I don't think it should be happening during the game. Who do you have in the NBA Cup? Honestly, I'm one of the people that I don't really watch the NBA until it's time for playoffs because I know them guys don't really take it that serious. I'm only watching playoffs, when you really, really want that championship. So I don't even know who's in the NBA Cup for real. People said, what are your thoughts on Davante Adams' vintage performance? I don't think it's vintage. I think this is always who Davante is. Their scheme, everyone's just starting to click now. They're clicking later. So this is who always Davante Adams was with Aaron Rodgers with a good quarterback. I'm not very surprised. So many dropped footballs before the end zone yesterday. What's happening? Just, handling the ball. Sometimes we just got to be very more mindful. Sometimes it's hitting off jerseys. People think they're giving it off, things like that. It is what it is. Those things can be fixed. Obviously, you don't want to see it happen. You lose it down, chance to get the ball back. But we're going to clean it up. I'm super excited. We're back in rhythm. We're back to the basics. I can't wait. Cowboys Nation, we need y'all loud and proud Sunday night. It's no excuse. It's Christmas break. We need this atmosphere rocking. We need it going. We're still fighting, so why aren't you? Why aren't you? That's the question of the day. We're still fighting. Why aren't you? Let's go, Cowboy Nation. We need everyone Sunday night. Pull up, show out. We need y'all support. It's going to be a great one. Bucs versus Cowboys is no better show in town. Let's get it. I'm going to see y'all.